I think, next. Alright, pull it in here with the delivery truck. We are going to turn around and take a look at what we get. There we go. First month running the spinnery with the tailor shop there. We have turned around and got a few pallets, it looks like, here to move along. If this all got set up right, should be nice and easy for us to move all of these over. Let's see how it all lines up. Hopefully it comes out decent. Actually, that's a fair amount. Alright, that's cool. So running cotton, definitely going to be producing a fair amount of fabric. Get that moved over into there, which is going to turn around and let us go ahead and turn that on. So let's go into our production, find our tailor shop, close, and activate. We know we won't be selling that until sometime in the spring. We'll have to check for sure for prices, but we'll have a little bit of time. At least now we have a little bit of stock, and both our new industries are up and running, so that was kind of the priority to get that underway. As far as selling off the other stuff, could turn around and run over and do that real quick while we're here, or we could turn around and go pick up our plow and get that going and sell off some stuff, I guess. Let's turn around and sell this while we're here. We know this is actually a big money load here, so we will turn around. These ones are not liftable, so we'll have to actually pick these up. Why I'm doing this kind of the hard way. Actually, it's easier if you just double stack them, I think, right on the ground. Just gonna worry about getting the cheese on the truck, not anything else anyway. So there we go. Although we will have, I think, a fair amount of apples probably, although I think they sell for their high in January, so we're gonna kind of start trying to sell stuff on the high when we can. We have storage and we're in no desperate need. I think we have plenty of acreage for this coming season, although, you know, every farmer always wants more acreage, or hectare, if you will, but everybody wants more ground to work, or most of the time anyway. Probably not everybody and not all the time. Alright, any more? What do we got? A couple more, one more. Good, and we can just drop that down in there. This will definitely pay a good chunk of money. The cheese always does. Best way to convert dairy that I know of. Alright, not there. We want to bring that. No, this is our Apple kiosk. That is where we want to sell it. Take that back. We want to sell it here. That's where we're going to get our best dollar for it. 238,000. Cannot complain about that at all. We'll take a look, zoom over here, take a look at our apples. Do we need to sell apples? No, we still have enough room for apples for one more month, so we'll just turn around and get those slid over, and then I think we'll go buy our plow. There we are, swinging in to grab the new plow. Gonna turn around and get hooked up to that. In between selling a few things, I think we'll turn around and probably just send this one out. Let's take a look. We do have, it is gonna take a long time actually to get these plowed in, but then that being said, yeah, there's not much I can't, like, just set them loose there. That's going to be a job. Okay, so I'm going to turn around, hook this this is hooked up. We'll drive it up to the new field because we are going to try to turn around and get the new field, although we actually have the new field behind up here too. This is going to actually be big acreage though. This is, either field is going to take quite a bit of time, and I suppose really before we plow this under, should turn around and see if we are able to, although I bet it's not going to let us harvest those. We could turn around and take a shot and find out, because if we get up there and we can actually harvest those would turn around and pay a ton of money back if we are able to harvest the potatoes. But then where it's out of season, I have no idea if it'll even let us harvest them. Wow. Oh wow, that was catastrophic. The new plow will now spend a week and a half in the shop with the tractor. Let's see if we can get this thing. These plows, it is the one drawback to these plows. Great as far as getting things done quick. Pain in the butt to get to the field or to move around. It's a bit of a shame they don't fold one more time in there for convenience. But you work with what you have, and these are gonna get everything under as fast as we can get everything under. So turn around and get that out here. If this one drop down, brand new plow. This field we have worked before, haven't had any issues with, so I guess we'll turn around. Wait a minute, that's not what we want to do with this. We could turn around and let the AI plow this field in there, but that's not what we want to do. We're just going to stage it. I'm going to turn around and go sell off the rest of the stuff, stage this up by the new field, because I'd rather start working. Whoa, this is going to be a tight fit. Start working on getting that actually ready, because that's going to take quite a bit longer to do, I think. Although that'll be a lot of plowing. I suppose I could do it between episodes, because this is going to take a long time, I would think, to plow this field. And then we actually have to see what you want to do. Plow it off of that edge, so plow from that edge to this field. Yeah, because that'll make things easier. This is going to be our biggest field yet, 118 acres, but then we're going to go from 118 acres in this field to probably 200 acres over there, although I don't have a total accurate count on that one. What we will do is drop back here. We'll grab some field lines just to be cool. We'll drop that down and we'll head into the corner just so that we get this edge. We're going to plow over all of this again, so it's not a big deal. Just kind of want to get a clean run to the end here. There we go. That's really all we needed out of that. Starting this right this second. I want to go up and finish the sails, but okay, we want to turn the lines on for this. Just gonna make life a lot easier. Turn around and send it. Yeah, this one's going to be actually a heck of a project. So we'll turn around and get the baseline and run across here on the side of the field. Then I'm going to turn around and go do the rest of the sell-offs and see where that plow is. And then obviously come in and start really plowing this field. This field is going to take quite a while, as we're going to be plowing about as far as we can see it in at least two directions. ambitious project. We would not actually have to get this in this month. We're going to have December and January before, you know, really most of our planting is going to come in March. But if we're going to have any options for anything other than, although I really think we're just going to re-put cotton back in that field, even though we've tried to rotate through our stuff, I think until we get like our field stabilized, although maybe a bigger field of cotton would be nice. There's always so many decisions to make. Alright, and then here we're just going to go to creating the field right there at the end. So cool. And we're going to hopefully just drag this right across over to that other field primarily. We're going to have to start steering away from the fence there some. Somewhere where we need to be when we hit the connection on this other field, if we get lucky. This one, the problem is we're not just going to be able to do like the hedgerow and then set the AI loose or anything. This we really didn't need to come over at all. Alright, and then in here we can limit the fields, which the field is not going to come up. Drag that out so we get the whole thing. Can live with that certainly for now. There's our field lines. Cool, so then what we'll do in that direction is just hit the field line and keep going. Far do we have to run up? So we're gonna up a little bit out and just kind of get that. Maybe we'll run up to here. That's like half of the hedgerow. Definitely gonna be a large field. What we're gonna plant in here is not even to be determined yet, to be honest. We have to figure out all of what we have for fields and then kind of figure out where we can get what we need out of, let alone what we can work in the time frame that we have to work with. I mean, adding all these acres is like, it's cool, but it's going to start taking a lot of time to work it unless we can turn around and start picking up a lot of new equipment. And we obviously just pretty much spent all the money that the farm has. And our income is actually going to be lower than it has been by quite a bit. Coming up. Alright, doing a good job. I think we're looking okay. So we started to line up a plow from this far out. We have fence up ahead of us that we're going to have to try to get rid of. Get rid of that. That's cool. Gives us another field entrance. Get rid of that. I suppose there's probably actually a lot of field. I don't know how much field fencing there is or isn't up in there. Alright. Are we anywhere near where we want to be? Not too bad. Okay, let's grab that. And then dip, cool, turn that off, and take a look at our line. That's not too bad. We got a little dirt on the line, but we'll kind of settle down the edges after we see how everything goes all together. We're just getting in that rough edge. You can always make adjustments to the field over the years and over the time. I'm sure we'll have to plow this one plenty. So at this point, just kind of working obviously the plows. Have the other plow going over there. We'll kind of take a look and check on its progress. Actually almost half of the way through the field. I think these two fields gonna turn around and start doing something else with maybe equipment storage, although we do have space over here too. But I don't think we're gonna actually plow those into this. It's kind of my first idea there. That way we can get some equipment somewhere staged up here. We don't have a lot of room here, where I think if we just took these two, we could cut that field off there and use that for some sort of acreage for equipment storage. I think we want to start getting some. We're definitely going to end up needing to have to pick up more equipment. It's not all going to fit on the one main farm. That's for sure. We're running tight on space as it is there, so that's something we'll have to think about. You know, now that we have picked up our acreage kind of for this year, we can start sitting or thinking about next year's either new equipment and new storage for that equipment too. All right, we're not allowing the field. That's the thing. Be careful when you hit some of these points. You turn around and continue to create field. Next thing you know, you get all kinds of field going on, or you don't want field going on. Been there, done that plenty of times. So try to be careful with that on this project here. I think at this point I'm just going to go ahead and at least finish up the hedgerow here, and then we'll catch up on a few more of our product sales as we get to that point. Here we are coming up on the end of the row of plowing here. We have just turned around and kept going from the hedgerow and beyond. Have about a third of the field done now. This cotton field is done being plowed under. So I think we'll turn around, and when we hit this one to the end of the row here, we'll send that over to another field, and then we'll go down and turn around and sell our next whatever it is that we have to sell. We actually have to some things in the bioplastics, which actually should be, you know, pretty good payoff. So we should have a decent payout to go take care of. I think we'll actually do that after we get the plow set up here. Let's just turn around and get this set. Actually, you know what, might as well just leave it there. That little bit is going to give us enough to get set straight. So jump over here. We'll grab this one quick. Fold this up. This one's just kind of going to do some of our stock plowing of the fields that we already have done. We're just going to keep it trying to work so we can make progress towards that. We're going to have a lot of lime to do before we next plant, and a lot of other things, to be honest too. We just have a lot of stuff to get done, so we're just going to kind of turn around and keep this one doing as much as we can keep it doing. Well, we're doing other things. Drop this down here. There we go. We're a little off tilt there. Go this field nice and easy, so no issues here. Work the headlands, start with the headlands, and send it. Alright, that one going there. And then what were we going to do? Turn around and jump over to our truck here. We'll get this loaded up and we'll get that next sale made. Alright, that is all loaded up. Get the straps on there. We'll turn around and run this one over, and then I think we can haul the bioplastics, or the trailer we'll use for the bioplastics. I think we can turn around and pull with this truck. So we're going to go turn around and see if we can hook up to that and head out and grab the bioplastics dump there. Here we are. Grab the black case. We did actually have the other new case back at the farm yet, so turn around and grab that to pick up our haul trailer here. And then we'll see how if we can get this backed in here or not. Somewhat remotely decently. Oh, Probably should have just pulled in this way. Alright, that says it's going to give us to us good enough. All we need, cellulose acetate, is the one that is going to sell at its best price this month. The other two are actually going to give us their best price next month. So we're going to turn around and empty that into here. Turn around, might as well take a look. Where are we going to sell this? Is it someplace other than the little market? It is actually. No, bioplastics is obviously not going to buy bioplastics. Grain harvest. This is actually going to give us a little better sale price. So there we go, 35,440 liters. Turn around and load that up. I suppose we're actually headed the right way. I was thinking that was the one on the back side of town, but not. So we will haul up there and see that we can sell it up there. That's what it says we can do, so that's where we're going to take it and see what we get out of it. 35,000. I think the sale price was pretty good. Looks like it was over, I don't know, I think it was over 10,000 or something. So should turn around and, you know, if we can pull 350,000 out of this. We know that the production just got upped on this, as we now have cotton and wood in there producing wood chips, and that's producing the cellulose acetate here. So we know we just got those up and running, and we already have 35,000 liters. So anticipating that this is going to be kind of the one that we end up selling extra out of the bioplastics. This one's definitely not just going to be a yearly sale. I think it's going to overrun, or we're going to end up storing it or something. One of those kind of things. There we go. Good look in on the plow. We don't actually need that up there. Good looking field. Working away. Plenty of fields getting done. The new field, about a third of the way in there. Turn around and take a look there. Yeah, plenty. Kind of hard to see it as you're getting in. There we go. All the purple in. Plenty yet to do over there. Just kind of taking a break from the constant up and downs of the plow. I don't know about you, that's when a person could almost fall asleep plowing in, especially when it's a new field like that. It's manually plowing it in, and not too hard. Alright, let's see if we can. There we go. Awesome. Awful. What do we look like here? Okay. Plastic. Whoa. Quick sale. 360. What is that? 369? 369,000. That is not too shabby, because we haven't really been producing. I mean, cotton we just pulled last month. We did get some the month before that. So cotton's only been in there for 2 months, and the wood chips have only been in there since last month. So yeah, that acetate's going to start paying off, I think, in a major way. We'll just kind of have to keep an eye on that, but I think that one could definitely be our honey out of the bioplastics, if you will. But I think, so we have that sale done. We do still have corn tortillas to sell there. Not going to make a big deal out of that. We will get them pushed. That's obviously going to put us over $1 million, but then just really going to head back to the fields and try to see about getting these finished up, being plowed. Quite a bit later, we are here about ready to finish up the 120 acre field is what we're going to go with for this one. Brought it off. It's a little bit more than that actually, but 120 acres is what we're going to call it. And we'll get this sunk in for the last little bit here. Turn around and take a look. And that plow is actually almost done with that field up there. We're just taking a look at it. Have just about 1 million liters of silage and silage is at about a high, so we do have some more of that to sell. Probably going to sell 2 buckets of that yet. Going to be $250,000 or so off of doing that probably. Alright, let's get this. Here we are, just setting up the AI worker in what was our cornfield. Turn around, I'm going to get that one turned over. Might as well keep both plows working while we turn around and head over now and start working on the new block over here. So this one going to be a 200 plus acre field for sure. This is going to be our biggest field yet by quite a bit. Turn around and let's make sure that we are limited to fields at this point, and then we're going to drop that down. Go ahead, and this part we should be able to use the assist, so we'll get driving on that. That's going to turn around and start us up our hedgerow, and then we're going to free hand from there over to the next field. That one is underway, and just kind of keep going on with that. Let's see, oh wow, that's actually got a huge hill in it. I didn't really realize that there was. Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's on the road. There you go. I haven't really been in this field or anything. Hopefully the tractor's got enough juice. Excuse me. Oh, snap. We are going to have to turn around and take out some fences here quick. So we'll come in, take a look at what we can grab. Is that clear them out of the way there? Hopefully not too many in here that we gotta get rid of. Alright, and then this is open field. So for the most part, that should take care of it. If we run into any other problems, we will just repeat. Alright, and then here we're gonna have to start creating some field. That came out not the way that we want it. We're not getting that edge the way that we would like. Alright, let's plow that edge. And get it where we would like it to be. And that came out smooth. Smooth enough. Yeah, we'll keep it. That's a winner. Alright, so we are just going to obviously continue this process. I guess we'll get a good look at the field here while we cruise up the head road. This is going to definitely be an interesting field. A lot of acres. Looks like we are going to have at least one tree we'll have to pull out. We have a couple of trees that it looks like we're going to have to deal with, but then we have the tree mulcher, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Just come out, going to add to our stock in the wood chips. Oh, here we go with more fencing. So we'll turn around and come in there. Original first time through everything. Gonna see fences and anything else that was there. Alright, and I think that's probably gonna do it. The rest of that heads out to the wilderness. Get this up. Interesting field this. That's cool. Alright, and create the field across here. Looks like we're gonna line up okay. Let's grab that. There we go. We'll take it. Yeah, and then from here, we're just going to turn around and make the turn and keep at it up the rest. And then keep the plows going, and we'll just kind of check in as we go. Fold it up, we'll just kind of zoom along, make sure that we got everything but as good, that we didn't miss anything. Everything looks good from here. Nice big field. Gonna need lime on this field. I guess we can turn around and slow down as we're heading out here and take a look at the soil composition. Lime on most of it. It's gonna need a couple areas that were either planted or ready to be planted are all gonna be ready to go. So we're just gonna need to lime the whole thing before we end up planting it, which we can get done this month, next month. Not a big deal there. And then this one, yeah, actually we could just run this straight across these open fields in here. Nothing on it, nobody owns it. We'll just sneak across and head over to our next big project field. Here we are, coming down the last stretch of the field here to be plowed. Did turn around and bring the other plow over, had it plowed out a few of the sections, just trying to get it all in. That's going to be the last of all of the fields. So we did turn around and add another at least 350 acres to the farm, which we already had a couple hundred acres. So we will now be working, you know, probably 500 acres or so of ground. We'll have to get it all totaled up at some point. Pretty large field. Again, it's going to be 200, I think it's going to be 200 acres. This we can give it a peek here real quick, turn around and start folding that out. We have the 16, 30, 45, probably 50, 90, maybe it's not as big as I think, 110, 125, 145, so like maybe 150 acres. Actually not a 200 acre field. So there we go, not anywhere near as big as I thought. Maybe that's why it was a little easier than I was anticipated being. Probably only 150 acres, so 150 over here and 120 over here, so we added 270 acres of field. Not too bad. And then when you turn around and take into account that we ended up getting all the rest of the fields plowed, we definitely plowed, you know, 400 or 500 acres of field for sure. So I think with that, we do want to get the at least the cotton field. We are going to turn around, but this is a wild ride. Turn around and get the cotton field all ready for planting, which is going to take the lime. That's the only thing needed left there is going to be lime. But we do have the month of January to do that stuff and then sell off. So I think honestly, where we turned around and plowed a lot more this month, I was planning on splitting most of that off into January. Turn around, and I think we're going to call it a success. Definitely call it a win, and then we'll bring up, we have some big sales coming in January, so I think on the next one we'll just start with product sales, and then we'll be able to jump into February and get some planting done on the next episode. So I think we're going to call it a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscription's free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.